I think that there's this misconception, particularly in DC, as it relates to how you advance professionally. And the misconception is that it is, based on how many coffees you can get or how many folks' brains you can pick. The truth of the matter is, at least from what I've found in my brief career, is people tend to move. The relationships that will actually get you jobs in the future are the ones that are forged in various trenches, and those trenches can either be campaigns or they can be particularly trying periods of governing. But the folks that at least in my career have helped me and have helped me advance are all people that I've at some point or another worked my heart out for, and just was willing to roll up my sleeves and dig in. And there's if you're passionate about a particular issue, the campaign in question can be an issue campaign. But if you're passionate about a particular issue, there is somewhere a candidate that speaks to that in a way that others don't. And there is something irreplaceable about having toiled and sweated for somebody when everything was on the line for them personally and professionally, and a lot was on the line for the country, whether or not they won or lost. And I think that's true. I don't mean to make that sound overly grandiose, that last part. I think that's true. There's local elections that have huge ramifications for the education of the kids in a given school district, for example. And there's something that you can't replace from having worked hard to get somebody who's deserving into office. Can't replace in terms of the pride and satisfaction it gives you, but in a more sort of cold and calculated way, can't replace in terms of the bonds of affection that person and the people around them will feel for people who are out there in the outset. So I don't think there's a better entry point into being involved in the political process back over here than getting involved in a campaign, and getting involved in a campaign early and being willing. This is the most important thing. I think it's particularly important for folks like yourself who are at prestigious and elite universities is campaigns and most people that I've found to be highly successful in politics, both the governing and electoral side, have zero egos and had zero egos early in their career about what they were asked to do. And there's a lot to be gained from being willing to, with a law degree from Harvard, being willing to go knock on doors for 8 hours a day, talking to voters in a rural part of Montana for a candidate. There's a lot to be gained from being willing to stuff envelopes when, campaigns are constantly in need of dedicated and cheerful labor, and most campaigns are not in need of more strategists. And oftentimes the people who are willing to do the former end up having the best seat at the table to do the latter down the line.